Professors, fellow classmates, good evening. I'd like to talk to you tonight about military contractors. Now, military contractors have been part of our total force structure for hundreds of years, and recently they've been under scrutiny for multiple factors, to include integration to the organizational structure, management challenges, and contracts executions, and ultimately cost management. Now, with the pressure from the White House and Congress to reduce spending, many studies have been performed recently to weigh the pros and cons of military contracting. Now, with a new president comes new legislation, and in 2008, a National Defense Authorization Act was passed. This legislation essentially reversed the way the government procures goods and services through outsourcing, which has worked well for the past 3 decades. The problem is not to outsource, but more to write correct legislations from our policymakers and our lawmakers that promotes the execution of the government's requirements. Now, there was a study done in 2010 by Steins and Turley, where they published in the Air Force Times, contractors bring many benefits that the government requires to include the knowledge of operational environment, provide specialized skill sets, and the ability to execute more efficiently than traditional government entities. Think about it this way. Let's say you're taking a vacation to Venice. Would you like a tour guide that has never been to Venice and only spoke English? Contractors are a critical component to the total force structure. And the challenge is not whether the U.S. military needs contractors, but how to work more efficiently as a team to achieve more military mission goals as well as meeting corporate obligations. Now today, our need for military contractors is more important than ever. Since the start of the global war on terror, our military resources have been tested with multiple deployments with minimal reset times. Now, many of you, I'm sure, being current active duty military, former active duty military, or spouses of active duty military, have felt this pain. Now, there was an Army Major, John P. Kilbride. In 2010, he published an article which described the need to have additional support for the military forces today. Now, according to Major Kilbride, the U.S. Armed Forces are fighting two major conflicts in two different countries with troop strength smaller than that of 20 years ago. With roughly 1,090,000 soldiers, most of them are either deployed or preparing to deploy in support of missions in Iraq and Afghanistan. With these strained resources, Major Kilbride recommends that outsourcing logistics, administrative, and technical support out to our military contractors. The use of the military contractors is an efficient and effective way of augmenting the force with qualified, trained, and readily available personnel. The advantages of outsourcing some functions is that the military can quickly get trained, qualified resources. Many units MTO are strained with reduced troop strength because they are just not available. Many times these units are augmented by soldiers who are either just fresh out of AIT or assigned the job as additional duties with minimal training. How many of us have been in situations that, oh, hey, you know how to spell computer, therefore you're going to be my automations person, but I'm the analyst or I'm the medic. Yeah, but you can do this too, you know? By outsourcing to contractors, they provide seasoned, trained personnel to meet requirements as well as provide their experience, knowledge, and also training to their fellow military and government personnel. Now, when looking at the benefits of utilizing military contractors, one factor that may be overlooked is how effective contractors are in executing mission requirements, with personnel that blend in and understand the environment because they've lived there their entire lives. When uniformed personnel rode the streets of Iraq and Afghanistan, they stuck out like sore thumbs, making them easy targets to the indigenous personnel with ill intentions. Utilizing local national contractors reduces these risks to the combatant commander by using military personnel. For example, contracting companies have the ability to utilize local national to support the mission requirements because the U.S. soldier is easily recognized. In many situations where stealth and ability to blend into the environment is required, a U.S. service member, even if they are plainclothes, do not blend in well from physical traits and their mannerisms, language barriers, and knowledge of the environment itself. Also, come on, let's face it, our enemies have studied our military tactics and are well versed in our capabilities with our weapons and vehicles. Now, local nationals have the ability to pass through these dangerous areas without triggering suspicion. By utilizing local contractors, more U.S. assets are available for other requirements and has a higher probability that the logistical requirements are executed with minimal threat. The benefits of military contractors are best concluded by Major Kilbride. Monitoring through additional oversight and periodic reviews ensures that the objectives of contracts are met while alleviating concerns of fraud, waste, and abuse. Military contractors are part of a team of total force structure. Monitoring and oversight by the contract officer representative allow the relationship and teamwork to flow. With strained resources and mission requirements, use of contractors alleviate many of the challenges that the military face. They bring synergy, cost savings, a unique perspective to getting the mission completed while reducing risk. Thank you. Have a good night.